So one of the things that I talk a lot about, and one of the things that we do explore in my course on personal boundaries and love, is this concept of felt security being an expression of self-sovereignty. What do I mean by that? Well, basically, this notion that you can have such an awareness of your internal life, your feeling states, your thoughts and impulses, that you become increasingly aware of your boundaries. I started down this line of inquiry because I was talking about how self-sovereignty is what I believe a state that we accomplish when we are able to sift through our internal states, identify those boundaries, expectations, rules that we set for ourselves so that we can be in greater command of our energy. And I believe it is our energy which ultimately attracts, or could even repel a partner that, let's say, is in better alignment with what we are looking for on an essential level. So what I wanted to share with you, one of the things that I like to do once a year is I go get my aura photographed. Now, sometimes when people hear this, energy is kind of an abstract term. Well, what does that mean anyway? So I really like to do this because it, on a regular basis, it like concretizes these concepts for me. So I just had my aura photographed, and I'm going to start by showing you the image that came up for me most recently. This is this past week. This is a very brilliant, bright, healthy aura. Yes. And I'm so pleased with it because it's a big difference from where I started. So I live in New York City, and there is a shop. It's called Magic Jewelry in Chinatown, New York, Manhattan. And you can go in and you can get your aura photographed, and they will read your aura for you. So I would like to show you one that I took in 2014. Okay. This was right after my divorce. Now, I want you to notice how dark it is compared to this one, right? It's pretty dark. And it's also all green. And one of the things that was relayed to me in that experience was I was very much in survival mode. I was extremely worried about money. And I was in a really self-sabotaging place in my life. There's one missing in the next 3 years. I don't know what happened to it. But jump ahead 3 years. This is 2017. So still kind of green, but now we're getting some yellow and blue in there. And what was going on was I was accessing a lot of like head energy, but I had a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts potentiating. I was starting to switch up my limiting beliefs. The blue is all about like third eye stuff, foresight, perception, trying to vision a different life for myself, and accessing my higher knowing in order to do that. So the wisdom that came out of this particular experience was you have a big decision to make. And there's abundance that is coming in, but you're going to have to access your heart energy in order to make that decision. So what's interesting about this is in 2017, I just started my online business. And I had been plugging away at it a little bit for about a year, but in 2017, I was actually confronted with a big decision to make a big financial investment to make that happen in a bigger way. And it did require needing to access my heart energy, because even though it was a financial investment, it required a huge leap of faith, right? It required a huge leap of faith from my heart to believe that I could do it and to believe that this could work out for me. Fast forward 2 years, 2019, last year, September, this was the image that came out. So from 2 years later, right? So now, look at all that pink. Look at all that pink and blue and green. So the pink represents that, I had to make a decision. I had to access my heart energy in order to do that. And now the pink shows up, and you can see the pink is right there in my heart center, and it's all above my head. So the heart energy was cracked open in 2019. And this photograph was taken just before I went back to my second trip to Mexico. And for those of you that have been watching me for a little while, I had a love affair in Mexico. I went back twice last year, and I started writing my book. Also, I became a lot more financially stable. So you can see the green has moved from the left to the right side. And that means that the financial abundance has been coming in. So like left side tends to be about potentiation, tends to be about like the pooling of resources and energy, and you're like preparing for change. And then once it makes it over to the right side, it's like it's arrived. It's in your it's either now or it's in your immediate future. So, and also again, third eye stuff over here had arrived. I was practicing foresight, practicing perceptions, like things like that. And well, it's interesting. Your drawings and body activation are the best. Well, so it was interesting because then 2 days ago, this one's taken. And this was right after we did our compassionate communication challenge. And for those of you that watched that challenge, I did a drawing of how I experienced my energy, and it ended up looking very much like this. And you'll notice the green, this one got a little messed up with the ink, but the green is on both sides. So, and my income has finally arrived at a consistent basis, and my heart energy is activated. The higher knowing and golden light is back in there. So maybe I can get them all up on the screen there. The pink is there. So if you look at it, this most recent one is kind of an integrated version of all three of these, right? Like all the colors are represented. So I was very pleased with this. And I wanted to share that because and I try to go, the other thing I noticed after this, without doing this intentionally, both of these were taken on the same date. I probably can't see it there, but at the bottom they're dated. These were taken exactly 1 year apart on September 25th. I didn't realize I did that. It was just a happenstance that it occurred that way. And then I look back at this one, the first one from 2014, also taken on the 25th of the month. Weird. I don't know when this was taken in 2017. It's just the number, but not the date. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was also on the 25th. So funny little synchronicities like that. But I wanted to share this with you because it's nice to check in with your energy, right? And a lot of what we talk about and what I talk about with the MacWilliam method is body activation. And why are we activating the body? Because that is how we start to experience shifts in our energy. And I wanted to share that personal story with you and to offer a visual for concretizing these thoughts. And this is a nice thing that I do. It's kind of a ritual that I do on an annual basis to check in with my energy. So I wanted to offer that while individuals were showing up here.